Well, the plot thickens with the Joola Gen 3 paddle ban problem, and it is much worse than before. I'm Rafa, the Pickleball Tech Dude. I'm ex-PPA, I'm a Harvard-educated engineer, and I'm a seasoned pickleball product tester. OG pickleball people will remember the issue with Carbon back in 2023, and this issue with Joola is proving to supersede that issue in terms of magnitude by a long shot. I'm going to be talking about the new USA Pickleball statement that just got released today, June 3rd, in response to Joola's statement issued back on May 24th, a couple weeks ago. If you want to catch up with all the drama, I'm going to create a playlist of the videos that I've already made so that you're up to date. But now let's talk about what went down today. The gist of the Joola statement made May 24th, a little over a week after their Gen 3 paddles had been delisted by USA Pickleball, is that it reads in part, quote, "We have worked quickly and meticulously to follow the guidelines as presented by USAP to rectify our Gen 3 paddles. We want to acknowledge that the delisting was due to an incorrect submission by Joola as part of the similarity testing protocols. We emphasize our confidence that the Gen 3 paddles are compliant with USAP standards." Joola goes on to state that they also paid an expedited testing fee, which USA Pickleball did not fulfill for them. And on top of this, they've doubled down on the fact that the paddles on the market should be materially the same as the alpha paddles that USAP already approved back in September of 2023. But now this is where things start to get juicy. Obviously, everybody was looking for a USA Pickleball response as to why they did not expedite the testing on the Joola paddles, because everybody automatically assumed that the paddles would just get reapproved as soon as the testing was done. But USA Pickleball today has released a statement that says quite the opposite. Today, USA Pickleball stated in part, quote, "USA Pickleball received and tested the newly submitted paddles, which did not meet our approved equipment standards. As a result, these paddles have not been added to the USA Pickleball approved equipment list." They go on to talk about how rigorous their process is and that they use a third party to ensure that there's less bias and yada, yada, yada. But that's not the important parts that really stuck out to me. So USA Pickleball not only published the official list of Joola paddles that are delisted and no longer approved, but they also published a set of FAQs after their official statement. And there are 4 key things that really stick out to me. Apparently there exists something called an application for certification by similarity process for pickleball companies, where they can expedite the process of approving a paddle via basically a signed document from their manufacturer saying that the new paddles that they're introducing are materially the same as another paddle that's already been approved. So now the real question here is, essentially, if Joola has submitted this process and saying that their paddles are materially the same and USA Pickleball has just delisted them, are they essentially accusing Joola of lying on their similarity testing protocols? Now, hold on to your pants because it gets worse. USA Pickleball proposes the question of what happens when a paddle has been delisted or isn't approved. And among all the suggestions and processes that occur, the one that USA Pickleball is insinuating is going to possibly be the way forward is by implementing a corrective action plan with Joola. This is basically an in-writing, step-by-step plan for a business to address issues from within that are causing harm to the community and to their consumers. This essentially seems like a probation period for Joola, and I don't recall whether or not this happened to Carbon back when they had their issues, but this Gen 3 drop, regardless, is way bigger than any Carbon paddle drop in history. So this has major implications and reflects very poorly on Joola as a business. And oh boy, wait till you hear this one. When proposing the question, why did it take so long, take several weeks even, for USA Pickleball to come out and delist the paddles after the Joola launch, USA Pickleball specifically states that they informed Joola of concerns about the quality of the paddles and about their similarity to the alpha paddles allegedly prior to the launch. This essentially means that Joola practically knowingly submitted illegal paddles to be marketed to the public. USA Pickleball even answers the question that was on the forefront of my mind, which is that are they supposed to give some level of notice before delisting a paddle for the company to sort of adjust to the hit? USA Pickleball quotes the rule from their rule book, and they say this: "Rule 2F1 addresses certain situations, but it does not cover every possible situation requiring decertification, such as a manufacturer's submission of the wrong paddles for certification. The rule addresses, for example, materially changed equipment or equipment that materially degrades or changes under ordinary use so as to significantly alter the nature of the sport." They've essentially said, hey, If your paddle through normal wear and tear all of a sudden goes out of spec and it happens regularly, then that's when we delist and we give you guys this amount of time of notice. But with Joola, they specifically infracted rules that aren't even written yet. So all of that is absolutely mental. But there's one last thing that USA Pickleball has up their sleeve. USAP back in late May published an actual explicit list of all the paddles that had been delisted and were no longer approved. This essentially just included every single Gen 3, the 16 and 14 millimeter paddles, the Hyperion, Scorpius, all of the models just gone. USAP has published that list again, but if you look a little closer, you'll see that the alpha paddles are now included on the list as well. Now, what's concerning about this is that if you actually go on to the paddle approved equipment list on USA Pickleball's website, you'll see that the alpha paddles from back in September and November of 2023 are still listed there. But according to USA Pickleball, and likely this is just an issue with them updating their website, those alpha paddles are gone too. USA Pickleball really just said, hey, Joola, if you think that these paddles are materially similar to these paddles that we just delisted, we're just going to delist those too. And all of this is very weird timing as it's coming after the Texas Open where the Gen 3s were banned, but many pros were allowed to use the alpha versions of their paddles. Joola assuredly is going to release a statement in response. I'll be back to update you guys when that comes, but everything looks like it's in shambles and it looks really bad for Joola right now. And something tells me that at the end of this road is likely a lawsuit one way or the other, and things are probably going to get worse before they get better. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments if you've already bought a Gen 3 and what you're going to do with it. Are you going to just keep playing rec games with it? Or are you getting some sort of social stigma against it? Are you trying to return it? Because I've heard horror stories of people needing to wait several weeks to return their paddles. Also, make sure you like the video and you subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date when I come out with these updates. Okay, that was a lot. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.